I know I talk a lot, but it is what it is. That's why I'm on YouTube, so I can talk. Just also say a few other things too about what helped me really solidify the decision. Speaking to specific things about psychiatry, right? How do we think it's looking? I am going to use a couple of different, honestly. I am going to go ahead and put on my powder. This is a Laura Mercier powder in deep, I'm sure. Translucent, medium deep. As far as other things that kind of helped solidify the decision to go into psychiatry, and maybe like if you're watching this and you're trying to decide what specialty you want to go into, if you want to just learn more about psychiatry in general, I would say the other thing I like about psychiatry, and some people might not like it, is that it is truly an art and a science. It's truly an art and a science. Like every treatment is not going to be the same. Like it's just cannot. So for example, someone has like gallstones or something. A surgeon has to go in and take them out. Bam, bam, bam. You know exactly what you're going to do. That's what the treatment is. But in psychiatry, someone has depression. I'm going to give them this. Yeah, or you can do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, or you can do that. Based on your experience, based on what the research shows, based on family history, based on like any like medical comorbidities, the treatment can look different for every person you interact with, regardless of what the diagnosis is. And I think for some people that can be quite annoying. You know, like we don't have blood tests to be like, you're this depressed, or you're this anxious, or you have this much psychosis. We don't have that. So our clinical like diagnosis and treatment is solely based on like our ability to really elicit information from multiple sources and come up with the best diagnosis. And I like that. I'm not gonna lie, I like that idea. I feel like my brain is always on. That's why I be coming back from work so exhausted. Because I'm always thinking like, okay, well, this is this and this is that, so this can't be this, and we need to rule out this. I really enjoy doing that. So if you're somebody who is like that, then you may really like psychiatry, because that's really what you do. If you're somebody who is intrigued by the unknown, because that is another thing too. We are literally still trying to figure out the etiology for a lot of mental health illness. We know that there's obviously a biological component, physiological component, there's environmental stuff, there's psychosocial stuff. There's so many things that come into play with mental illness. And so we are legit still figuring it out as we go along. But I like that, I like that we have to constantly learn. We have to stay up to date because everything is ever changing. I wouldn't say ever changing, because the medications that we have been around for quite some time, and like therapy, treatment, interventions have been around quite some time. But you just never know when research is going to show that something that we didn't know is now important or relevant or whatever. And I think that's cool, to be honest. I think that's fun. I think, again, it keeps you on your toes. So if you're somebody who likes the idea of like research and learning new things and the unknown, then psychiatry would probably be a good field for you as well. And then the other thing I enjoyed about psychiatry is talking to people. My psych rotation was the only rotation where I felt comfortable actually taking time to speak to the patients. In psychiatry, like, no, actually, the way I'm going to be able to make my diagnosis and treatment plan is learning more about that social history aspect. So I like that. I'm going to also go in with the one size in translucent. I like to talk, as you could probably tell, because I'm legit rambling. So I'm glad I'm in a specialty where that's very much valued. I like to talk, but I love to listen. I should, preface it. I'm not just talking over people. I love to learn about people's background, where they come from, what sort of things have shaped the way this person is presenting to me today, because everything you've been through, everything you've seen, every experience you've had has shaped who you are today in this moment is interesting to me, and honestly a huge privilege to be able to do that for people and to be entrusted with coming up with an intervention that's going to help them based on everything that I've heard. So that was the other thing too that I really liked about psychiatry. Like, that part was valued, and I feel like I'm good at that. I'm just using this big Sephora brush to wipe off excess. What do we think, guys? Does it look okay? Bronze with the NARS bronzer in Laguna number 8. Another thing too that I like about psychiatry that I realize is just the legit diverse areas or places you can work. Like, we could work anywhere and do anything. Psychiatrists work in so many different places, it's not even funny. I even, as we speak, I have technically, well, I have 3 jobs and going to have a 4th. So that alone should tell you, like, the possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. Like, there's so many places you can work, and especially as a child psychiatrist, you literally can work in the ER, you can work on an inpatient unit, you could work on a consult service, you could do outpatient work, you could work in subspecialty clinics, you can work in the juvenile detention center, you can work for a school, you could work for a government entity, CPS or ACS. I mean, and the list goes on. Sit here and name so many places you could work, and I just like that. If I'm ever like, okay, I'm tired of XYZ, that I can, that's fine. I can move some and do something else. I don't have to get bored with psychiatry because there's just so much you can do. Sorry, I'm using the NARS blush in Exhibit A. It's so pretty. It's like a nice like kind of reddish color. Very, very nice. Very pigmented. Okay. I never do shadow because I don't know how to. I'd love to learn because it looks so good on people, but I can't do it. I'm using One Size, a Point Made for eyeliner in frame. But anyways, y'all get the point. It's very, very dark, which I like. Can you tell the difference already? This is lined, this is not. It's so good. Very, very nice. And put some mascara on my bottom lash. I'm using the Fenty Beauty. Charlotte Tilbury and One Size Until Dawn. I'm actually kind of impressed with this makeup. I didn't know what it was gonna give because it's my first time sitting and doing it. When you just try something new, you don't know what to expect, but and because I'm talking and I've never been blabbing while I do my makeup, so I was like, how is this gonna go? I am going to line my lips with One Size Coin Collector. Another reason, the last thing I'll say about it, not the last thing I say about it, but this will be probably the final reason I present, is work-life balance. That was very, very important to me. As much as I love learning, love working, and I work really hard. I love taking care of patients. That's why I went into medicine. Like, I couldn't imagine not being able to do that. I also love doing stuff outside of medicine. I have to be able to do that, and there's some specialties that don't lend itself well to be able to do that. When I was in med school and trying to choose my specialty, that was the work-life balance that psychiatry affords you was very clear to me. That was the most apparent out of all the specialties that I rotated through. You can be a very good doctor and dedicated to your patients, but it doesn't have to then creep in, or it doesn't have to be at the expense of your life outside of medicine. And I was like, Bet, you know, that sounds good to me. Imperative that I had a job or had a career where it was going to afford me to be able to do that. And it does, you know, and that's part of why I'm able to do things like start a YouTube channel. And I'm very grateful for that. And that has held true. Maybe not in residency, child. I will say that was not the case in residency and even to the fellowship, but it's definitely the case now. And I mean, and we'll talk about that. That's just training woes. It doesn't matter what specialty you do. Training is training. But now I definitely can see, because of the flexibility we have in our career, you can totally have a work-life balance. And you cannot too. It's some psychiatrists I know that they work to the bone, but by choice. You know what I'm saying? It's by choice. They don't have to do that. They want to do that. They want to get to the bread, and maybe I don't blame anybody that wants to get to the money. You put in so much time, you put in so much work. I understand like wanting to get a big payoff. So yeah, but again, I want that to be clear that when people do that, when psychiatrists in particular do that, it's usually by choice, because we just have so much flexibility. You don't have to do that unless there's a specific lifestyle you want to live or whatever the case may be. So yeah, so that's the final reason, I will say, after blabbing for like an hour about why I chose psychiatry. See the lip well? I'm going to just use this MAC mineralized powder just to kind of finish the face. Please don't make fun of me. Like, I am not Jackie Aina, who I love, by the way. I am not Jackie Aina. I am still learning, but I do love makeup and I love to learn, hence why I'm a doctor. So I'm just learning how to apply. But I think, you know, for being somewhat of a beginner, okay, let me not say, I mean, I've been wearing makeup for a long time, but being intentional about trying to learn about makeup, I can't say I've been doing that for a long time. So with that said, I feel like I am doing okay, at least with trying to learn how to do my makeup. Let me go ahead and spray my face down. I'm not gonna do my hair, so sorry if the finished look is not gonna look great. Because the finished look, I would, like, you know, get my hair together too. I do have it in this little scrunchy thing, so hopefully it still makes some curls. See how it kind of, you know, see it makes little curls? I highly would recommend this little scrunchy thing. I really like it. Because at least for some time, you can get away with not having to curl your hair if you have that. It's good enough. Look at this. Isn't this great for not having no heat? And I have not curled this hair almost a month, because the last time I curled it was Essence Festival, and that was beginning of July, and we're almost at the end of July. So I'm not gonna lie, that's not bad. So if you stuck with me to the end of this video, you are a real one, because I know I talk a lot, but it is what it is. That's why I'm on YouTube, so I can talk. Just to reiterate, because I feel like I spoke so much, you might have lost the reasons why I chose psychiatry. So just to kind of do like a bullet point. One, I feel like regardless of what someone's going through physically, if mentally, if they're not okay, it does not matter. There's nothing that you can throw at somebody or even like recommend to them, provide them to get themselves better if mentally, if in the mind, and then also emotionally, if they're not where they need to be. And so being able to help somebody get to that point so that everything else in their life can flourish is really just so great for me. Number two, intellectual curiosity that psychiatry provides. Again, we don't have all the answers to how mental illness emerges, how to treat it, why our treatments work. We don't have all those answers, but that's okay with me. I like the idea that as I continue to grow in my career, I'm going to learn more. We're going to make new groundbreaking treatments and studies on how to best take care of our patients. And so that part is really exciting for me, and because I like to learn. I'm a big nerd. I appreciate the art and science that psychiatry provides. I can see two patients who both will hold a diagnosis of depression and yet the treatments could be completely different. So it's really me getting to really flex my muscle. It's me really getting to just flex my ability to diagnose and come up with a very comprehensive treatment plan every single time. Nothing is routinized for me. I'm always thinking, my brain's always on, and I do like that. Or I love talking to patients, and I love listening to patients, love evaluating patients as a whole. And I love that in psychiatry, those pieces that maybe in other specialties are less important become so important, because I need that to make my final diagnosis and treatment recommendation. I don't know what number I'm on, but I love that I get to work with the most vulnerable population you can. I love being able to be an advocate for them, and specifically in child psychiatry. I'll make a video. This is more general about psychiatry, but specifically in child psychiatry, being an advocate for these kids, doing whatever I can and whatever is within my power to change their trajectory is truly an honor and a privilege. And it really does help going to work feel so meaningful, if that makes sense. Lastly, the work-life balance. The ability to do what I do, love what I do, work really hard, but then I have a life outside of medicine that sustains me. I always feel like I'm filling up multiple parts of me because I am multifaceted. And so it's not going to be enough to just be this physician, but I have to be able to be a woman who does and enjoys multiple things in life. And being a psychiatrist allows me the ability to explore and to pour into those other aspects of me, like being on YouTube. That is all, y'all. This is the final makeup look. I'm so happy it came out decent considering this is my first time doing this. Let me know if you have any questions. Actually, again, I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos talking about my journey, talking about tips and advice and things I've learned. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comments. Let's discuss. If you have any questions about the look, like if you like it, if you feel like you don't like it, but be nice, because I said this is my first time, so be nice to me. But I am welcoming any tips, advice, recommendations about the makeup as well. But let me know. I will see y'all next time. Bye.